welcome to another episode of the Almost Worthwhile podcast. It's June, it's Pride Month, and we have a special episode. I'm Aryan and I'm joined by...
I'm Prateek and our special guest is...
I'm Shubh.
And could you tell us a bit about yourself?
So I'm from Uttar Pradesh. I'm in first year of BTech in VIT, and yeah, I think that's about.
Okay, so our special guest today, your orientation is? Could you tell us?
I'm gay. Yeah.
So we're here today to talk a bit about Shubh's life and the challenges he's faced and his story. And it's a pretty important episode to us because Pride is quite important to our club and our podcast. And today will be a bit of a special episode for that reason.
So how has college been?
College has been surprisingly good, I would say. I mean, I didn't expect it to be good. Like, I was actually expecting me to get hate crimed here.
Yeah.
But that hasn't happened yet, so I think that's...
I mean, I think you do see a fair share of people being a bit like, maybe not necessarily comfortable with it. And there are definitely the people who are like, I don't know about that one, chief. Like,
I mean, yeah, people like that are always gonna exist, but it's more about if someone is actively going out of their way to bother you. Like, I feel like that hasn't happened to me yet.
Like, you've never, if you have come out to somebody, have you ever had like a negative or a weird response?
I mean, from my mom, yeah, sort of, but
No, I mean in VIT, like
in
students over here of our age.
I haven't, like, I came out very strategically, I would say. Like, I came out to people I knew were going to be open-minded.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, that
that's
makes sense.
smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like, they would naturally be comfortable.
Yeah.
And they knew you beforehand
Yeah,
as well
yeah,
for a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. Like, did you come out as soon as you came to college and made friends, or did you like take your time with it?
No, so basically, what happened, so initially I was like, in like socializing, trying to socialize, and I was with friends with people. I knew they were gonna be homophobic, so I just was like, okay, I need to get a better set of friends. And in like 2 weeks, I got like a better set of friends, and then I came out.
So you like, you were just aware that like their response wouldn't be so good?
Yeah.
That's awful.
They're from there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
They're from Delhi, and they would.
Oh, okay.
They
Delhi
will make
people,
homophobic jokes like on a
Yeah.
regular basis. So.
I think like I would say in terms of how forward and how positive people, I think I was honestly very surprised when I came here initially.
Yeah, like a lot of girls like are bi and like they're
Yeah.
very open about it. A lot of
And
my
people
friends
are very like relaxed about it.
Yeah.
For the one thing VIT does like well is people are unbothered about how other people are.
Yeah,
For the
because
most
there's
part.
so many.
Yeah.
It's just
Too many.
it might be the reason. The sheer amount of people is so
Yeah.
much that it's just like I'm unbothered like how you are. You could just be normal and it doesn't really matter to me.
Exactly.
Like, I do whatever I want in my room. My roommates don't know, but like I do whatever I want, and I don't think they
Yeah,
see anything.
like one thing I've noticed is especially with clothing. Like I've seen a lot of people wear like whatever clothing they want, whatever's on
Yeah.
their shirt. Like I have piercings personally, and I've actually, if anything, my parents do tell me to like take them off and be careful. And I do that. I don't want to have people have the wrong impression of me. But sometimes I'm just like, it doesn't really matter to me
Yeah.
because this is still a part of me, and
Yeah.
a lot of times I'll forget. And I never see any. If anything, I see very positive reception. It's like they don't even see that. They just see me as a student. Like I'll be talking to them, and in my head I remember, oh my god, I have my piercings in. What are they going to think? Especially the rings. And then there's nothing. There's no even mention of it. They don't really care about
Like,
it.
Like honestly, if you asked me like 2 days before something about you, I wouldn't have noticed the earrings. Like I just filter them out.
Yeah, I think it's even just being in this environment. Even if you weren't so comfortable with a lot of things, you just end up becoming comfortable with it.
Okay, despite it's all good. I mean, not all good, but decently good. One thing happened to me in class. So I paint my nails, right? I like nail art. And I was in class. One guy is like, oh, come here. And I'm like, interesting. And I went there and he was like, why do you paint your nails? And I was like, I like it. And he was like, but boys are not supposed to paint their nails. And I'm like, well, I like it. And he was like, if you like it, just stay with black or something. I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
That's so odd.
And the audacity, like you call someone
Just straight
and
up
be
like,
like,
to their
why
face,
are you
like,
doing that?
Why are you doing this? Like, why are you gay?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. to
Yeah,
me.
that was.
I think I've seen a lot of people like in their minds. Okay, I don't like this, but they won't like. say
Yeah.
it. And even if they do, they're also very nice about it. Like, say I have a problem with Aryan, and it's something I've grown up with, and I don't understand why Aryan would do it. Either I would talk to him and tell him I don't really understand, and I'm.
But that is when you care about it,
Yeah,
right?
that's-
See, but the thing is, you need to be smart enough to have
Exactly.
empathy for that.
Yeah.
And people who are homophobic usually are not smart enough for that.
It doesn't
Yeah.
because they're not able to like. I'm not
Process,
sure.
yeah.
It's like they're not able to
Rationalize
process
their
it.
thoughts.
They're not able to understand how people could be so fundamentally different that
Yeah.
they cannot be the way that
Exactly.
they are, and it's pretty sad. But I think besides that, like has there been another small incidents Like people like do some weird things. I mean, see, I'd say you're openly like
Yeah.
I am like
Yeah, I'm not
gay.
changing myself. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
and if that's very confident, but I feel like that also it doesn't invite people to be more open about their hate, but people tend to think, he's being very blatant, like he's putting himself out
I
there.
feel like behind my back, yeah, I've heard people say stuff about to me, but not to my face. And like, yeah, that's most of it actually. Most of it is behind my back.
Have you ever noticed anything from faculty?
Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So one day, and that was like, okay, so I will not go into details so that you cannot pinpoint the exact person. So the person so I was sitting in lab, and that person like clearly knows who I am, okay, because I have had multiple interactions with them, and they just look at me, and I'm like, oh, I thought there was a new girl in class, and I'm like. That you have talked to me multiple times, and I didn't take offense to it because I was like, well, I'm
awful.
making people question stuff,
Yeah.
but people were like, that was like
That
as a
was-
joke, like they were trying to mock
Wow.
you. So I'm like,
That was bad.
That's
is
pretty
terrible.
bad,
That is
yeah.
actually terrible.
And what's funny, this has happened to me as well.
What?
Yeah, so with the earrings, and my hair was a little bit long. It wasn't like not even close. It's like this long. Like my hair was just a bit floofy because I'd washed it, and it honestly looked normal. I didn't even like think if it was like very long. It was like you've seen my hair before I cut it, right? It was like that.
Yeah, it's normal.
And this like so it was like 1 a.m. in the night. So we had an event recently in a tech fest. It was like a tech week called Yantra, and so we had to prepare for this event, and we had to take like night slips where we go out into like a particular place, and we all come together as club members and we work on it. And so it was around 1 a.m. the night, so the girls were like getting like that was their in time at 1 a.m. This is the like last time you can be out, and so we were leaving, and one of the people who was supposed to like take the like women back to their hostels came and was like, "Are you a girl?" Like in Tamil, "Nee ponnava." Okay, it literally means, "Are you a girl?" And I'm so like, what? Like I giggle like like what? I was like, "Why are you wearing this and all?" I'm like, because I
we
wanted
had
to
to
wear it.
pause the music on his
okay,
phone.
that
like,
has
wait, what?
happened to me multiple times. So especially from wardens
Yeah.
and guards. So like this guard, I was like coming back from like night library, and I was like entering my hostel, and you're like, oh, your hair, like why are they like why are you growing your hair? My warden has asked me that, guards have asked me that, and it's like,
Why do they care?
yeah.
Why do they care? It's not their business.
I didn't understand how to take it. First she was like, asked me, and I was like, what? Okay, and then she asked me like, what's wrong with your hair? Why you have this and all? And your face also. I'm just like, honestly, I just took it as a joke. I was like, I'm just gonna laugh. I literally just burst out
No,
laughing.
but I love that. I love that when I make people question their idea of what normal
Yeah,
is.
that's pretty nice. I don't think she meant it maliciously at all.
Yeah,
I think she was just
know.
like, I think this guy's a girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know which girl you've seen with broad shoulders and like fucking
Maybe
and
she goes to
facial
the gym.
hair. Like I don't.
You had a proper beard then.
Yeah, I think I had a
Proper
little bit of, like
stubble,
you
yeah.
could see stubble.
Yeah.
I'm like,
proper
which
stubble.
girl you seeing with stubble and like
Maybe she was being inclusive.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. She was like, you might.
She just
I
asked
don't
me
know.
your
Maybe you're
pronouns
one of
and
them
you-
weird girls. Like I don't know. We need to take you back also. She was actually asking like, you need to come back. I'm like, I'm not a girl. I'm a guy. Because I'm like, if they take me there and find out I'm a guy, they'll shoot me. Like they will actually kick me
On
out.
spot.
Exactly. There'll be like a red dot site. Like I come somewhere and just come on here. I know that. Like I was like, and one of my friends asked me like, are you like okay? I'm like, I don't know what to think, but it's kind of funny though. It is kind of funny. But in my head, I could think like, what if somebody else was in my position? Wouldn't they feel a bit like, is that really what they think about me?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it happens.
But I don't feel uncomfortable when that happens.
If you're like
I generally
open about
like
it.
it.
Yeah, if you're open about
If you're
it.
confident,
Yeah.
then it's, who
Like
cares?
it's taken me some time to be comfortable with it. Sometimes I
Yeah.
take it off, and like my parents also necessarily they don't they don't hate it, but they're of course a bit old fashioned, so they're like, could you like take them out at home? And I'm like completely fine with that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like, why are you wearing the big ones? But it's not like, oh, we hate you because of it, or you would think you're a bit weird. But I need to be open with this. If
Yeah.
I am not confident in my own skin, there's no way I'll be able to live life and continue
Yeah.
living life the way I
Exactly,
want to live it.
exactly.
It's only one life. I'd rather live it the way I want to. But it takes time, I guess. Okay, so let's move into like more serious things. So you said you were from Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah.
And Uttar Pradesh isn't necessarily known for being progressive.
Yeah.
I think it's actually known for being anti-progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was, like, you could tell us a bit about your experience in Uttar Pradesh?
I mean, okay, social life was bad, I would say, for the most part. I mean, after 10th, I made like pretty decent friends and I
Mhm.
was out to them too.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I was like bullied and stuff in school a
Mhm.
lot. So that wasn't the best thing. And I never felt like I was like, it felt like I was out of place. Like I never
Mm.
was fitting with people. Like
Yeah.
it was just like boys would like, exclude me.
Hmm.
Girls would be like, oh, we don't talk to guys because I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's
Children.
just like,
Kids,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's just like always like I felt out of place.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it gets you. Like, I think
You know,
I-
people don't like suspect that I'm from UP. Like, I
Yeah.
get that a
Bro,
lot.
I was like, this
Like-
guy's from Bangalore or something.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no
People-
way his confidence. And he told me he was from UP. I was like, what? Okay. Just as like we spoke, we hung out a little bit, like us
Yeah.
three. And I asked him if he wanted to be like anonymous, because I'm like Uttar Pradesh,
Yeah,
like
bro.
Yeah.
being open, and you're from Uttar Pradesh. Like we have here, like girls and guys holding hands, and there's that like what's it, Robin Hood police or something
Right,
like that.
right.
I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
exactly
no,
what it
yeah.
is.
Some
Romeo.
Romeo,
Romeo
Romeo
Squad.
Squad.
Yeah,
Anti-Romeo
Romeo Squad.
Squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so then I'm like, they don't even like he hates straight people. So I'm like, if they find out he's like gay, I'm like, oh my god,
That
like
will
they'll
clear
attack
them
him with
all-
machetes.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, bro.
and I was so concerned. I asked him like 4 or 5 times, like, do you want a mask? Do you want to wear a beanie? I don't know, something like conceal identity. And I mean,
I am
props
fine.
to him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
completely okay with it. Like, it's amazing.
I get
honestly.
Bangalore a lot. Everyone
Yeah, I
expects
heard
Yeah.
that
it's
I'm from
Bangalore.
Bangalore.
100%.
I would.
I
thought
take that as a
I
compliment.
thought you were from
mean-
North India. I was thinking maybe he was raised in Bangalore or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, same, bro. Like, he's lived in Bangalore.
Yeah,
he has
'cause
that look on
yeah,
him.
yeah. I get that confidence, and then he said some UP, and my eyes just went like, excuse me, what? Okay. Let's get okay. I wanted. So you mentioned a few things. So in our discussion, like when we hung out, we talked about certain things, and there's certain things we avoided talking about because we want to get organic reactions.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
podcast. So you told us like some of the events like had correlations with times in your life.
Yeah.
So some of them, like, can we go like through different time periods of your life?
Yeah, sure. So the first one I would say, and it's like pretty okay. So when I was like 5-6, I was pretty feminine. I would like to do things like which boys are not supposed to do.
Mhm.
So I would play with my mom's makeup,
Mhm.
and I would paint my I mean, like as fun, like for fun, not
Yeah.
for like properly, but like I would do that. And my mom initially didn't have any problem with it. Like she would
He's a
not,
kid.
yeah. She just he's being playful and stuff like that. She didn't mind it at all.
Mhm.
One day I remember I was at like my relatives,
Mhm.
and so like I was at my cousin's, so and she's a girl, right? And so she had stuff like she had like nail paint and makeup and stuff,
yeah.
and I did that there, and when I did that there,
Oh,
my relatives like were like thought it was like very funny and like they were like showing me around and like laughing
Yeah.
at me, and my mom felt really bad.
Mm.
And then she was like, okay, maybe I need to actually, ask him to stop doing these things
Mm.
because he will be like, mocked. Like, I get that point because she was
Yeah.
concerned for me. But it's like, that's when I realized, okay, I cannot do these
And
things.
at
Yeah.
this young age, like
Yeah.
5, 6, like
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I am different.
yeah.
Like, I cannot
Because it
fit in.
feels pretty bad when, like, bunch of people are like laughing at you.
Mm,
When
yeah.
you're like 5 and you're like, just are happy to show them like you painted your
Mm.
nails and they're like
Yeah.
laughing at it.
Like, I think,
And I thought they were just, find it cute or something. But my mom was like, no, that was like actual laughing at you. Like,
it's like clowning. Like,
Yeah.
you look at this like zoo animal.
Yeah,
like, he's
exactly.
so
Yeah.
weird. Like, how,
Yeah.
imagine somebody could be like this. That's
Yeah.
and I think in a way, if I say put myself in your mom's shoes, so me and Aryan, I would say, are naturally like quite masculine.
yeah.
And so if our parents were like, okay, like we can't tell at this age whether he's naturally feminine or naturally masculine, but we know he's a guy. So shouldn't he be naturally like masculine? So maybe we would tell them to like avoid certain things. But like, I think that's
I feel like, yeah. But that creates like a sense of insecurity.
yeah.
in you,
But if
'cause-
you're naturally like that, you
Yeah.
are like
Like
that.
the age of 5 and 6, it's natural.
And you're 5 and 6 years old. Like you
Yeah.
can't tell what's right, what's
yeah,
wrong.
because at that point no one knows gender roles.
Exactly.
Like you don't know ki this is for girls,
Huh.
this is for guys.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like you just do things you like, right?
Like, yeah, I can understand a little bit because when I was like 7, 8 years old, so we had like I lived in a close gated apartment. It was a very old apartment, but we had a lot of people. So we had like a lot of kids. So we'd have like big groups of kids that would play with each other. And I was the one kid who played with all the groups, but I would play with the girls also. But it didn't matter to me. I didn't see them as girls
Yeah.
and guys.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, these people are fun. I want to play with them. And I would relentlessly get bullied. And I was like, why? It doesn't even make sense. Like, why do you see them as somebody like different? It's just
Yeah.
fun. I was like, I like playing games with them. I like playing games with you guys. I like playing cricket. I like playing football. I like playing everything. So then it's like, why would I get bullied for doing that? And it was so bad. I remember going back home and crying and thinking like, oh, I shouldn't do this. And I actually stopped doing it at then. And it took me a long time to realize it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you're a kid, your mental strength isn't like the best.
Yeah.
You
what
don't
parents think about you matters a lot.
Yeah, and then you're told elders are right and what they say is right. Then you take that into your head, and it really like changes the psyche.
But you know what that did for me? It's like I would still do those things. I would just be cautious about it. So I would like, you know, when my mom is not at home and I'm home alone, I would still play with makeup. It's just that when she'll come back, before she comes back, I'll like wipe it and like, you know, remove all the evidences, I would say. And and there were multiple instances. Like for example, that was just like one. And once like I was at a friend's house and like, you know, they were like you know, they were girls. And just like we were playing and
What
stuff.
age was this?
It's like 6, 7.
Around
The same. So like, you know, and I just put on their frock on top of my clothes. I just put on their like a frock.
Yeah.
And I felt cute in it. Like I was like, you know, and so basically that girl's mom saw it, and she also like took me out of the room and showed me around to people. That was just like bad. I like these things happen like once or twice, and I was like, okay, I cannot do that.
After that first experience, did it register that people were not they're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you? Did it like register?
So initially, so the first time my mom told me they were laughing at me, not with me, and like the second time I could understand what was happening, and I felt really like embarrassed. Like I actually left like her house immediately. Like I took it off and like left her house immediately. I was like I was crying when I got back home. So yeah,
it doesn't. It bothers me because I think this is one of the best parts about being progressive. Being progressive doesn't necessarily mean you have to accept everybody. You have to understand people are different.
Yeah,
people are like even if you are say. Aryan is from Pune and I am from Orissa and I was raised in Chennai. We'll have fundamental differences in the way we look at life. Because of where we are raised. But we have to be comfortable to understand, okay, Aryan is different from me and I am different from Aryan, but we're okay with being with each other.
Yeah.
And it should be the same with everybody. Of course, people are going to do things that are like uncomfortable with you, or you don't necessarily understand why they do it, or maybe it's morally wrong, straight up morally wrong. What we were told, this is wrong, you can't do it. Then you can object, but playing around with people, laughing at people,
because it's surprising because you can see a child that
but
way.
a
Like
kid,
you can,
it's a kid, man.
Yeah.
If Aryan laughs at me, I'm fine. But if Aryan laughs at a kid, like I'm like, dude, like
Because
exactly.
usually what homophobes have is like a reaction of disgust when they see like any gay person or like doing anything like, you know, which is out of like the gender norms. But like when you see like a 5-year-old doing something, I don't expect there to be disgust.
It's like playful. They won't know much about life. Children are born faultless.
They can barely think.
They're just like, I think this is fun. I'm gonna do it. They have no idea about how the life is and where the world is. They haven't even been taught anything for that matter. And then like to imbue these things into a kid's psyche, and then they grow up thinking, nah.
Because these are the things you learn. I feel like that happens everywhere. Like even with straight people, they learn these things. Like you have to act masculine, you have to act feminine.
Like it is, I think, in a general way, a lot of people do learn these lessons.
Yeah.
Like I have also learned these lessons in some extent. I'm guessing Aryan also has also. Yeah. But I think like especially when you're even when you're lesbian, like in India, I think they're more accepting of that. Especially because it's like males are like, that's like how do you say, they like that. But when it's a gay, they have this repulsion, like it's repulsive and I don't like it and it doesn't make sense to me. Like, how could you do that?
Exactly.
It's for me, it's like, why do you care?
I don't think people think lesbians exist, by the way.
Oh.
That's actually, like, people don't even go in that direction.
Wow.
I feel like people don't think women can make choices for their own.
I mean, that's India for you. Welcome to India. Yeah.
So I feel like the problem is not that they're fine. Like, no, it's not that they're fine with it. It's like they don't even think about them.
I mean, yeah. So to me, like, to get into more of a, like, how do I say, non-PG things, it's like a lot of things is like, how do I say, when you go into the adult side of things, a lot of men are like, oh, that's attractive, oh, it's like it is a fantasy for them, but for them it's the complete opposite when they talk about like men being with each other,
exactly.
and same-sex marriage, but with men. instead of women. It's like for some reason it's like okay, same sex marriage, okay, you register. But when I say women and women, men and men, yeah, that's
because that's for their own good, right? It's
Yeah.
not for like the actual like good for the
Exactly.
like lesbians involved in the conversation. They want it for their
yeah,
own
because
like,
it's a fantasy in
yeah.
their head and they like
so that's not actual
it's, yeah,
acceptance. That's just
society like
it's
messes
just
up the way you
yeah,
think.
fetishizing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and were there any events like after that? So like prior to like 5th grade, like do you remember anything specific?
I mean, so basically, I would say ki, since I would like, in school I would get like a bit bullied, like, people would call me slurs and stuff. And because of like how I walked or talked or whatever, like my voice was too low, like high and like, And so like I remember like, standing in front of the mirror, like, like practicing how to walk and how to not move my hands and stuff like that. Like that, I would say that is pretty sad. Like when I
Wow.
go back and like, and like think about all these
Literally
things.
trying to put yourself back
Yeah.
into the box.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
actually like it makes me feel very sad for my younger self. Like I actually like empathize a lot. Like I'm like you like he didn't have to go through all that. And like I remember like I was standing in front of the mirror and I was like trying to talk without moving my hands or like walking but like not like walking very
My
straight.
God.
I don't know.
God,
what
we
that
don't even think
means.
about that.
Yeah.
We don't even think about like how we walk and how we
Exactly.
move our hands.
Yeah.
We just do it.
But like imagine if you were in school and people like laughed at you.
Yeah.
For it. You would
Yeah.
change.
You
try
would
to
think
change
about
yourself.
it. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like you're habituated to doing
School
what
is
you
like a
want.
very evil place.
Yeah.
Kids are like
kids are like
evil.
because kids have no reference of like
Yeah.
I'm like bullying this guy. It's gonna
Yeah.
psychologically
They have
affect him
no
for the rest of his
empathy.
life.
They have no empathy.
They don't understand it. Like, see, I'm not gonna say I'm faultless as a kid. I did some dumb things as a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say and like maybe back then I didn't understand. I think maybe in my position I understood he's a bit different. I'm like okay, he's just like that. But I'm not gonna say most kids are gonna be like that.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
kids is because they're also raised by their own parents in their
Yeah.
own society, and they're told you can't be this way. Only girls are that way.
For them, they don't even think that it's that bad. For
Yeah.
example, like okay, people like have bullied me,
Mhm.
have like tried contacting me later, and I'm like, you're being friendly now. Like I actually hated you like my whole
Yeah.
life. So it's like it's interesting how they don't think of it that way.
And it's nice to know that like I've seen a lot of people change their minds because then
Yeah.
they're like, wait, I'm an adult now. I'm thinking for myself. Why did I do all of that?
Yeah.
It doesn't make. I've the
Yeah.
number, I think I've apologized probably to like 10 or 15 different people.
Yeah.
Just being like, what's wrong with me? Like, how could I do this? And I understand. I'm not gonna say it's completely because society told me to do this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's society. I just did it.
I feel like you didn't knew better.
Yeah.
That's the
There's
problem.
no. Nobody told me that this is wrong and this is right. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm just
In my
like, okay.
school, like the most famous best friends, right? Like one was like extremely tall and the other was short.
Yeah.
The tall guy used to bully him every day, like 4th, 5th grade.
Yeah.
Like by 10th, they were like best friends, bro. Like the tall guy apologized to parents
Yeah.
in front of everyone publicly, and he's like, "I'm sorry, you're cool. I want to be friends with you."
I remember a certain incident happened to me. So like I was like very like overweight and even obese at one point, and like you get treated like very very differently.
Yeah.
And one thing that changed was when I lost a bunch of weight and then puberty hit, and then like everybody was like, oh, he's attracted now, and everybody tried treating me better, and that really messed up my
Yeah.
like way of thinking. Like, oh my god, so it's not because society tells us things. We literally are also built a certain
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
If we look at somebody attractive, we're gonna naturally treat them differently, even
Yeah.
if we knew them before and they didn't look that way before. It's so messed up, like the way our minds are, because we're in the end of the day animals to some extent,
Yeah.
right? So it's not like we're completely like removed from that. Okay, so any other events like in that time, or is it like stuff moves on?
I mean, okay, yeah, I would say like about like 6th grade, I would say.
Mhm.
So like like a lot of events happen, like personal things, pretty bad. I was pretty like I would not use the word depressed because I was not diagnosed, but like I was pretty sad.
Mm.
So and like
Sixth
school was
grade.
school, okay, not because of the
Oh my
particular like that thing, but other things, and like school, like there was also bullying in school, like bit like not like actual like a lot,
Mhm.
but because it gets worse.
Okay.
But like someone would call me something like every once in a while, and so yeah, I think people are really excited to go to school when they're in 6th grade. Like I
Yeah.
expect, right? People like don't hate school
Yeah.
that much when they're in 6th grade. My attendance in 6th grade was like 60%, 65%. I would lock myself in the room and like in the morning so that I don't have to go to school. I hated school that much because how I was treated in school.
Wow.
I asked my mom. I could,
Sixth grade.
Yeah. and I could see that my mom could tell that he doesn't like going to school, and I asked her to get like change school. So like I got into another school
I'm
in
like
7th
shaking,
grade.
like as an 11-year-old, like I never even considered these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life was fun. Every day I would wake up, I go to school, have fun
Hang
with
out
my
with
friends.
friends and talk
Yeah,
to them
play
all.
No, I
football,
didn't have
do-
friends in 6th grade. Uh, so
I'm so sorry this happened,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
genuinely.
Sorry.
yeah, I understand. But it's fine. It's like, I mean, I'm over most of those things. But so in 7th grade, I got into a new school, a new start, and I was like, okay, here I got to act straight so that no one can bully me.
Wait, new school. So
Yeah.
same area or did you move somewhere else?
Yeah, no, same area,
Same
but
area.
like a different school.
Any reason you moved schools?
Hate it.
Exactly
Yeah.
for that reason. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I mean, I didn't tell my mom that is the reason. I just convinced her otherwise that school is better. They have
Oh.
better academics and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
in my mind, that was the reason. And I was like, okay, new school, new start. I'm gonna act straight now. And yeah.
I'm laughing, but that's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah.
But the way he said it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. Like in
You literally were getting your act straight.
yeah.
Damn.
And in 7th grade, I made new friends.
Hmm.
But okay, it's all okay. And like 7th, 8th grade, I made friends. Like I was pretty, like I have never had like that close friends before, so that was pretty new for me. But the thing is, when like when you are going through puberty, like everyone has feelings, and like other people are talking about, oh, I find this girl attractive. Oh, I wanna ask her
Yeah,
out
that's
or whatever,
generally
right?
starts,
It's
yeah.
like they are talking about it, and then they just expect your input, and you don't have anything
And
to
you're
say.
like-
Yeah, because like you cannot say what, like, because I would say I didn't know like I liked men till like I was like in beginning of 8th grade, like 7th grade.
So you were just blissfully
But
unaware that.
yeah, I mean, I never thought about it.
You
Like I
never
never
hit-
had like
okay.
attraction towards anyone
Hmm.
at that till then. So it's like I never thought about it. But when I actually started having attraction towards men, like I was in 7th grade and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, this guy in my class is cute. But so when I started having those feelings and I couldn't tell my friend those things, that like you
bottling
really,
it
yeah,
in.
like it's like you cannot tell like a huge part of your life to your
Yeah, that's
like, even the
something
closest people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. I mean, yeah, anybody in general with your friend group, you talk about like
Yeah.
who you like and
Yeah.
who you find cute and stuff like that.
Yeah, but in like 8th grade was like 7th 8th grade was same. 9th grade I would say so basically in 8th grade I only had guy friends. In 9th grade I was friends with this girl, and she was like really like nice and stuff, and I became closer and closer to her, and like in 10th grade she was the first person I came out to. Like I like
Wow.
felt really like it was like I had bottled up a lot of things. Like there were
Like
so many
raises,
things.
like,
Yeah.
so much
So
weight.
I just was like done. I was like I cannot keep it in any longer. I need to tell people. I need to just be myself. Like it was like because it takes a toll on you. Like it's
Yeah.
like you are having like normal conversations, and you just are very cautious. You are very cautious that okay, can I say this? Will they get
Yeah,
a
you're
hint
always
that
walking
yeah.
on glass.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't tell.
Because like they will talk about what music you like, and I will be conscious. Can I say like a female artist will they think
Yeah.
I'm gay for that? And yeah, so but like I told her in 10th grade, I was shaking when I told her. It was over call, and I was shaking. I sent her like a video, which was like a funny video. It was like the person. Basically, the point of the video was the person who is sending you this video. The person who is sending you this video is gay. That's the video.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I love that. That's kind of funny.
It's like a song. It's like
Yeah.
a cute song. So I sent her that, and like she was watching the video in front of me, and I was like shaking while she was watching it. It was like quite. And she was like, "Oh, did you send it because it's like funny, or did you send it because you mean it?" And I was like, I mean it." And I was like, and she was like, she didn't say anything initially, and like, she could hear me crying. Like I started crying, and she started crying. She was like, "Why are you crying?"
I'm so pathetic. I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah, and she was like, she was happy that I felt comfortable enough. She was like really sweet, like first person and then I
Oh,
met.
that's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, the
Damn.
relief that must have come.
Yeah,
She
and I
was so
told her
happy
so
that you
many
were comfortable
things.
with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I, like for like 2-3 hours we talked after that. Just like I told her all the stories I couldn't tell people. I told her all the crushes I had in like
Oh my
8th grade,
God.
7th grade because I couldn't tell that to anyone. That
Yeah.
was the first person
That
I was
must feel good.
telling. Yeah. And I asked her, so basically I'm like, asked her to, do a quality check on the men I was friends with. And I was
that's
like,
funny.
I was
That's
like,
funny.
talk to them about
like,
it.
hey, okay, you
yeah,
like,
yeah, see if they would
Set me up.
kill me or
Yeah.
not. And so she did that, and luckily the guys I was friends with were also pretty. So basically I was friends with very nerdy people. So they were like not
That-
like, okay,
Chill.
let's play sports every day,
Yeah.
or like so we would like usually talk about nerdy stuff like studying and stuff like that. So they were not like very masculine, like macho, toxic people. So like they were all fine with it. It's like I came out to all of them, and still I was like, okay, that's not enough. Like I need to like I.
now you've come out
Because
of it.
it's,
Yeah,
because it just felt really good, like
Yeah.
being open to people. So I was like, okay, I'll tell my brother too, and that didn't go that well, but but it's like I told him, and he told my mom, and then mom was having this conversation, and initially she I mean I don't expect anything more, I would say, from her, because it's like your son is 15, right, and you are in like UP, you don't know anything better. So she was just like, you are 15, you're too young to know, you might
might
like
have just assumed,
and
yeah.
you might end up liking girls. I understand, like
Yeah. to
pretty
some
like
extent,
yeah. And I just was really scared. I was like, I thought I was gonna get disowned that day, but didn't happen, thankfully.
Oh,
Uh,
man, that-
Yeah, that was like my
UP,
biggest fear, by the way.
This is why I said Uttar Pradesh, because
Yeah.
there's stories of people like not getting disowned but like eliminated, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like gone. Like off the census.
No, because I feel like, okay, that creates a lot of insecurity, because I spent like a decent chunk of my childhood thinking that like my parents won't love me if they find out about me. And
How you
that
really are.
yeah, and that makes me question everything. Like I was like, okay, so other people are like, what will I do if like, they actually don't support me financially, or like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, okay, the what a lot of queer people in India do is that they wait till their education is done and they
And
get
then-
a job,
yeah.
and then they come out, just in case they actually have
Yeah.
no support from family. I mean, yeah, I could have done that, but I'm glad what I like, but it's fine. So like later on, we had a conversation with my mom, and she like cool with it. So
Wow, that's honestly incredible.
yeah,
Like I can see the amount, like when me and Aryan first saw you, especially me, I was like, this man is genuinely happy.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
amount you
So happy.
smile, like
Yeah.
with the things you've gone through, bullying, realizing at age like 5-6 that you're different, and
Yeah.
like just years of just the same thing,
Yeah.
and you constantly have a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Like I would have thought like you would have been like horrifically depressed if I'm being honest. Like
I feel like it's like when you go through bad things initially, you tend to appreciate life a bit more.
Yeah, the little
it's
things.
like like I'm really grateful that I can just be out to people here. Like I can just paint my nails, and and no one is stopping me from doing it. And those are the things like I'm really grateful for. And when you get those things very easily, you might not take those things for granted. Like voicing you, like dressing how you like, might like can be a very normal thing for you.
yeah,
But like like I would not say I still dress up the way I like just because I don't have those type of clothes. But
yeah.
like dressing the way you like is pretty normal for most people. But for like some people, it's a really big deal when they finally do it. It's like a very emotional moment. Like
yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense.
It's like
Makes sense.
it's
Yeah.
you literally feel liberated.
Yeah.
It's like finally
A
it's
part of you feels
yeah,
free.
Yeah.
free. Yeah, exactly, free. Yeah.
Like I wore like accessories here. I never wore any accessories. Like okay, I also want to get piercings, but my mom is not fine with that as of now.
Ah.
I'll convince her.
I mean, I'm not. My parents weren't necessarily fine with it. I just kind of got them,
Yeah.
and I'm also kind of in that like path of like trying to explore, and yeah, there's a certain fear of like, will my parents accept me the way I am?
Yeah.
But it's like I'm doing it step by step. I'm quite scared of like maybe I'll get rejected by people that like I like and I want to be with, and it's like trying to find that balance, because I do want to be in like a corporate environment.
Yeah.
And even on the podcast, there's times where I'm like, okay, I need to take these off. I need to like remove certain things. And over time, I'm becoming more and more comfortable with myself and how I
Yeah.
portray myself. But like just hearing like how comfortable you are, I'm like, this is
Yeah, it's-
genuinely incredible.
Yeah, it's like
Because I simply cannot be that way.
I feel like okay, anyone can take it like for like a certain amount. There's a
Yeah.
limit, right?
Yeah.
After that, like you stop caring.
Yeah.
Like you were just like, okay, like this is gonna happen. Like you know,
Yeah.
no matter what I do,
Mm.
I'll just like it's better to
Like
just
you've
do
cared
what I
enough
want.
for your entire life.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
at
it's
this point.
like
So that I don't
fine-
have,
like
I don't have,
like,
yeah.
I feel like my fucks are over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't need these people's
Yeah.
like acceptance and
approval, I think.
yeah, it doesn't matter to me anymore. And
Now
that-
I get like actually like I like the fact that I'm making people not uncomfortable in a way that making them like feel like actually uncomfortable, but uncomfortable like, if just me being myself is making them uncomfortable, like I would rather do that than not, basically. Like there have been instances where like behind my back, not like in front of me, but they have been like, oh he acts like that or whatever. I'm like, I'll not stop, like it's just
Think whatever you want.
yeah. I think I still can't believe that in 11 years old you locked yourself in your room, and
Yeah.
as a 11-year-old you were depressed. It's genuinely shocking to me to think that as a kid you're barely a kid.
Yeah.
People would literally look at him like
don't
bacha
have
hai,
a
like
conscience.
chota bacha hai, like
Yeah.
nobody's gonna
Yeah.
like whatever marks you score in school, chhod the boy, he's a kid, don't even know he's learning. Like as a kid I'm like, imagine you code your pants like, mama, I'm sad because my friends bully me because I'm different, I don't want to go to school anymore.
The
I know
thing
you
is-
didn't do
yeah.
that, but like imagine if my kid did that to
Imagine
me,
thinking that.
my heart would be broken. Like I'd be like, oh
Yeah.
my god. As 11-year-old, I
I
didn't think
told
of
my
anything.
mom like later on, basically before coming to college. So basically, this is like a cute moment. So my mom, before I was coming to college, she sat me down and she was like, I know you are different, and like I don't want you to change, but I know other people might not like it, and just be safe in college, and like because like men's hostel,
Yeah.
I was surrounded by men like constantly, and yeah, so like she was concerned, and I was like, oh, I have faced that before, I'll be fine. And she was like, you have faced that before, really? And she had no idea about all this, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I started because every time something happens I just start crying, and I started crying, and she just gave me some time. I was like, can I just be alone for a bit? And I was alone, and she came back, and I told her like some instances of what happened in school, and she like genuinely felt bad, like because she had no idea what was going on. And yeah,
Sad, man.
That would break your heart.
Yeah.
Like in your neighborhood, so like you already had
Yeah,
people
yeah.
in your neighborhood, like
Mhm.
did they like
basically, okay, I would say there
like
were
where did you live? Did you live in an apartment or like
and then like just like it was like it's small town. There are no apartments in
so
small
you live
town.
like a small like a normal
Yeah,
house,
like,
your own
yeah,
house,
yeah.
and but there were neighborhoods, right? So there
Yeah.
were houses around you.
So I would say I never yeah, I played with people like kids in the neighborhood, but like I just didn't like, they didn't like me. It's just like I could tell they don't like me, and like they would also make fun of me and stuff, not like for various reasons, but like one of them being also like me being feminine, and they were just generally mean people. So I would rather be alone than with be with those people. Like I spent most of my childhood alone, I would say. It's yeah.
Damn, dude.
Sorry, I just don't know how to react genuinely because that's one of the most sad things I've heard in my life.
Because like if I think, okay, because usually people have really close friends from like 6th grade and stuff like that. If I actually like think before 7th grade, I didn't like, there's no one I can just be like contact on Instagram right now and be like, oh, I loved like the memories we had and stuff like that. There's literally no one. So yeah.
Damn.
I'm actually like, my tears are like welling up in my eyes because okay, just to tell you guys, when we hung out, a lot of stories I told him to like stop. Like I told him to like, okay, keep it yourself, we'll talk on the podcast. This like I want it to be very organic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm regretting it because I genuinely want to cry. This is I hope you guys understand that there are people around you, like everyday people, your friends, family, that are like this. There are different,
Yeah.
and a lot of people will never come out ever, and it's something that's just holding so deep inside, and it's like a lot of pain. If I had to describe it, think about it like if I think a lot of people have gone through heartbreak. It's a very common thing, obviously, right? And imagine just constantly being heartbroken. That kind of sadness being in your like life and in your heart, and you just can't do anything about it because you know.
And you cannot even tell people. Like
Yeah.
there is no support system. You're your only support system.
And yeah, you forge a kind of mental strength through that.
Yeah.
But beyond a point, just like we are social animals.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need other people. We
We
need
need
their
it.
support.
Yeah.
We need their help. We need to talk to people.
But one thing I would say, like it's not all sad, because like in queer communities there is like a lot of very strong concept of chosen family. So a lot of people, choose their own family, and they might not have support from their own family, but like they
Yeah.
choose their own family, and
yeah.
it's really like there's a very huge bond. Like I have watched many shows which had that. I also sort of had that in college. And
Did you have like a community like now?
Yeah, we do.
Like, do you guys like? Is it social media or do you guys have like friends like
So basically, I have queer friends.
Okay.
Like I met them organically in
Here?
college. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
cool.
like they have queer friends, so we just all
It's just like you guys
Yeah,
come together and
yeah.
like a shared identity, like of being different.
because it's like you have all have had sort of similar experiences,
Mhm.
and you might tell a person that and they might understand and empathize,
Mhm.
but like, to actually go through that and actually have like first hand experiences like very different. Like you
Mhm.
know, you might understand, but you know that will not bring out actual past experiences you
Mhm.
have had. So it just always I feel more like you know you will feel more comfortable telling those things to people who have actually gone through those similar
Mhm.
things.
Yeah, makes sense.
When you're like, say, walking around and you have, do you like like usually have your hair like down and your
Yeah.
nails painted and stuff? Do you usually have that? Or do you like avoid
Yeah.
that?
No. I always.
You're like
yeah.
completely like.
How can I chop my hair on?
No,
like,
you can
yeah.
tie it up or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Care.
you aren't like very blatantly open about it. Like, do you actually think about what people are looking at, like when they look at you?
Nah, I don't.
You don't
yeah.
really mind that. Like, I mean, yeah, this is a very common occurrence with women, but like, women get jeered at, looked at, catcalled, and I've noticed it. Like, I was with somebody and this happened. I was like, wow, this is like legit happening right in front of me, and we just like this. Like, yeah, this happens all the time. So like, nothing like that usually happens to you.
I would say not here. I feel like people like generally don't care enough here, but.
Yeah.
Like back okay, so basically during lockdown I also grew my hair. I grew my hair, and like they were like not this long but like long considered, like you know, for guys they were long, and there like I actually would like get a lot of eyes, like people would like turn around and stuff, and like you know, this was like I like sad, but like I cannot blame the kid for it. So basically I was at a function, and this kid's come
What age was this?
like just like 2 years ago, like just like
Oh,
during
couple years
lockdown.
ago.
Yeah,
Okay,
during
lockdown,
lockdown.
yeah.
And like I was at a function, and this kid come up to me and be like, are you a boy or a girl? And I'm like, that's like, you know, and it's like, oh, I'm a guy. And then he's just like, then why do you have long hair? And it's like a 5-year-old
Yeah,
kid.
he's like, he doesn't know
yeah,
anything.
yeah, but it's sad that, you know, even like, you know, kids at like, you know, who are like 5-year-old can, you know, pick up on gender roles and, you know, try to impose that on others. Like he can also be like, oh, like, you know, guys are supposed to have short hair and girls. I mean, probably he hasn't seen any like, you know, anything else other than that, but
like I feel like as a parent in our generation we have a responsibility. See, we don't have to tell people what to accept and what not to accept. We just have to tell people that people are going to be different.
yeah.
Whether you like it or not, it does. People don't care enough
They're
about
gonna
your
be
opinion for them to change. There'll be like regimes of like dictatorships where they tell you that you can't be this way, and still people will act that way.
Yeah.
That's literally a threat on their life, and they will rather act their way and live their own life the way they want than listen to the way that you want them to live life.
Yeah.
And that's how much it means to them. So like you need to be able to iterate and reiterate continuously to people.
Because
like,
you know, it's very funny how people think it's a choice, right?
yeah, it's not.
Why
you're
would someone
literally built like this? It's like telling a rose plant to like grow apples.
There are
Like,
biological differences.
yeah, like people, our brains are different, how we are different. Like he said, he was like this since he was 5 years old. It's not like anybody's like, no, you need to do this. We're gonna put you through this course to become a woman. No, you have to do this. You have to wear this clothes and put
Yeah.
these. Like that's messed up. Some people do that, but he's literally built like this. He
Yeah.
cannot help it, and
Because it's like, why would anyone choose to be
it's
like,
a
you know,
horrible,
suffer?
it sucks. Okay, this is the part I wouldn't like to tell people. We don't want to be this way. It sucks. People hate you for it.
No, but
people,
like right now, I feel I'm in a place where I would like actually not prefer to be straight. Like I actually,
my
because
God,
I feel like, because it's like I have gone through like a lot. Like, you know, and you know, me being gay has affected my personality like a lot. And I would like, you know, I don't think I would be the same if I wasn't.
You're not sure if you would like that person if you were straight.
Yeah, because like, what if I, you know, grew up in UP and I was like all the other guys
yeah.
there?
I could.
Like,
Like,
that
if
would
I
be
imagined
terrible.
you as like somebody who's like, no, I'm straight. Like that.
Yeah.
You'd be such a rigid, like,
yeah,
like unaccepting of yourself. But I'm guessing this radical acceptance of yourself has led to like you being happy within your own
Yeah.
skin. Like you're okay with it. Like,
yeah,
I am the way I am. Nobody
This
can
is the
change
most
me.
happy you could be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Pretty cool. So you talked about like a particular anecdote that you wanted to like mention, and I
ye-
stopped you. I remember I
Yeah.
stopped you when we were hanging out. So
Yeah.
if you'd like, so this will be the last story, guys. So pay attention.
Yeah. So basically, after I came out, and my mom was like, "Okay, don't talk. Let's just not talk about it." Like, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna be myself. Like, I'm gonna rub it in her face." So I would paint my nails and like show her, and she would be like, "Don't do that." I'll like still do it. And so once,
That's funny.
so once what happened? She was like, how moms usually talk about your man. Like, I'll give my jewelry to your wife or something like that along those lines. And I'm like, I'm not gonna get married to.
Give it to me, man.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to get married to a girl. And she was like, oh, you are not going to get
No,
married.
yeah, I just told
and,
you.
and I was like, well, I didn't say that. And she was like,
Oh.
awkward silence, and I'm like, let's just not talk about it. Yeah. Yeah.
See, like, talk about marriage, then she's fine with you painting your nails. Like,
She's like,
she's not fine with it. It's just that, like, I would not stop. Like, I'm.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
you
like
don't care.
I feel like you tell him, don't do that. I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
again. Like, don't do it again.
I'm gonna do
I'm
something
gonna do
worse.
it once more. Yeah, I feel like I said your entire life, but like, I mean, that's what makes you happy.
Because like
right?
okay, because like right now, like I'm growing my nails, painting them, growing my hair. I also want to get piercings, and my mom is like, okay, that's where I draw the line.
No.
2 things, that's all you get.
Comes back with 8 piercings.
Yeah.
Cut your nails and get piercings.
Yeah.
Do we have dinner? She's like, no dinner for you.
Yeah. It's like you gain some, you lose some. You have to either cut your hair or get piercings.
See, to be fair, like the more comfortable they get with it, the more accepting, the more open they are talking about what they like
Yeah.
and what they're doing. And that's pretty. I feel like that's a very good balance.
Yeah.
Like to them, it's like, okay, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this, but you do it anyway. Okay, I get comfortable with it. I learned to be comfortable.
I feel
with
like
it.
she will get comfortable
She will,
eventually.
Yeah.
dude. After a point, like you
Yeah.
said, you don't even see it. It's just
Exactly.
there. It's just like it's
I
like
don't
Yeah.
notice
it's
it.
like I don't notice Aryan is wearing a shirt. If he's not wearing a shirt, it'll be a bit odd. But
Yeah.
like he's wearing a shirt, I'm not like, oh, Aryan is wearing shirt and pant. Oh my god. Like it just becomes a part of like what you wear.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, guys. So the podcast is pretty long, but you guys might have noticed I have Uno cards on the table. So we found out that he doesn't know how to play Uno.
Yeah, pretty embarrassing, I would say.
And
but-
we were going to teach him Uno and play a few games, but we're reaching the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to peace out for now and we're going to play Uno with him and we're going to teach him. We're not going to actually do it. But we're going to play Uno. Bye bye, guys. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye.